Okay, today we're going to be discussing how to make a gasket. Now, gaskets come in all types of forms, all ranges. All we're trying to show you is if you have an emergency situation, you can make a gasket very quickly. It can be made out of rubber, any of these materials that are out there. Just understand that 99% of all your gasket material is bought off the market. And there's some good quality places around town that will sell you that stuff. But for today's training purposes, we're making it out of vegetable oil and fiber. This is the most common material. It's typically used for water, all right? But it's a quick method to learn, and it's a very cheap method to learn how to make them. Now, what's going to end up happening is you're going to make something looking like this, all right? If it looks anything other than this, you're probably going to have to redo it. All right, so please take your time and do it professionally. Now, what we have is a car hub. You know, you could use almost anything, but what we're going to have is these squares for you in 1 foot squares to start off. All the tools are going to be available for you, typically in the toolbox. The only thing that may not be in the toolbox because the size is a square, and that will be in the tool crib. Everything else should be in the toolbox. So, first of all, just like I always explain to you, safety is the #1 factor. Number 2 is take care of the materials. If something is missing or broken, or you don't know how to use it, please ask me. All right, so we have our hub that we're going to take care of the gasket on. No problem. We have our paper. Squares are going to be in the tool crib, and you're going to need 2 sizes. All right. The one large one, the carpenter square, you're going to go from edge to edge on this, and you try to get it as centered as possible. All right. Take your pencil, pen, and just mark an X across the in the middle there. Same thing on the other end, because what we're trying to do is find the center of our work. Okay. Now, this isn't a precise science, okay? So don't spend a great deal of time on this, but understand the concept. Now, the next thing is we know that this is our dead center, okay? Because wherever the 2 lines meet, and because it's 12 inches square, we understand that concept. The next thing that we have to do is we have to mark the center hole and the outside diameter. To do that, you have 2 sets of calipers. All right, we're going to use the outside calipers first. And what we're trying to do, and to make this go faster, you can either unscrew it like this or hold it and just flip it down, and it'll open up for you. What you're trying to do is get as close to accurately as you can so that the calipers continue to slide through this. All right. Now, I don't know what that distance is, but what I will do is I'll take my ruler and I'll go and measure it, and for all intents and purposes, it's 2 3/8 inch. All right. Again, I told you this isn't a big science. So 2 3/8. Now, what you have to do is take a piece of scratch paper, figure out what 2 3/8 is as far as half of that, because that's the diameter. You first have to find the center point, okay? Now, if my whole operation is 2 3/8, half of that is 1 3/16. And on this ruler, there's 3/16, there's 1 inch. So now I know that this is my circle distance. All right. Now, this is where the other set of calipers come in, compass basically, is I'm going to go from the center here out to the edge. All right. Lock it in place. Oops. Keep it in center. And just give it a little bit of pressure, but tilt it. And you can rotate it around, all right, and scar the material, all right? Just tilt it and scar it, okay? Lift it up, be comfortable with it when you're doing it. Makes the job a lot easier, all right? Now, that circle is going, when cut out, will fit over here, all right? Now, put your gloves on, because you're going to use the utility knife. Pull it out and gently, at a slight angle, score it. All right, just kind of follow along. Remember, this isn't a precise science. And you're going to have to make several passes at that, so don't be in a big rush. And always try to keep your fingers out of the way just in case you slip. Now, once you get it cut in there a little bit, you can go back and puncture it, okay? And tilt the blade in. See, it helps sometimes. Oops, see? Not good. All right? Because you hit these little air pockets. And when you get into a situation like this, just take your time, all right? It'll open up. I'll tell you, for vegetable oil and materials, it's very sturdy stuff. Come back, clean out the hole as much as you possibly can. All right, you want to try to make it as smooth as possible. Now you're going to transport that over to your gasket area and push down on it. Now that's a nice tight fit. All right, that's what you want to have. That really worked out well. But that's what you're trying to get done on this. Get it centered, and you're on your board. Now comes the little hammering ordeal. This is how you're going to cut out the outside edge. We don't have to do a lot of measuring because we already know that wherever I start hitting this, it's going to leave an imprint. The thing is this is a light ball peen hammer. Don't go be getting one of these 16 or 24 or 32 ounce hammers out there and banging on this thing. All right? So hold it down flat wherever you're going to start, and you got to feel with your finger. All right? You see where that's making that little indentation? I know that's the cutting edge right there. I'm letting the equipment cut that gasket for me. And you notice I'm just taking little short bangs on this thing, taps. I'm trying to stay on the edge, okay? And you notice I'm always holding it down, because if you don't, this stuff will rise up and you'll get the wrong cut on it. You notice I'm trying to keep my fingers away from it. I banged them on there a couple times already. But you only do it once or twice. The smarter people learn for first time around. Now, you can't be in a big rush on this, all right? If it doesn't look professionally done, I'm going to have you do it again, all right? Take it off, put that off to the side. Now you have your gasket, all right? Now the question is how do we make these holes in this thing? Again, go back around and you're going to feel, sometimes it might be easier to do it with your clear hand, all right? But go around until you feel that imprint of the hole, all right? And with the end of the ball peen hammer, just tap on it lightly. And you're going to see how it starts to indent around that hole. All right, just leave that as is. Now, rotate around, and you can cheat a little bit. You can look up and basically find out where the next one's going to be. All right, push it down, check it. You may not be right on target, but don't be banging away until you really know that you're on it. You always notice I kind of push down my fingers. See, and it all cuts away. All right. The thing you want to be careful about is you want to hold this so that these other holes don't move and you're off center. Okay. Okay, so I'm somewhere in this vicinity. All right. And there should be one more right there. Now, gently loosen this up. I made such a nice tight fit that it's tight. All right. Now, there's my gasket. All right. I'm ready to fix a water pump, fountain pump, stuff like this that is good with this because when water gets soaked into this, it rises up a little bit, inflates itself. All right. Now, the other thing that we want you to be sure of is when you're done, please clean up so it's ready for the next student. All you have to do is just use the little compass, your utility knife, and pull this stuff out. All right. Now you notice I'm taking care. I'm not digging in there and trying to destroy the tools. All right. You can also just kind of push it through if it gets tight, and it will drop right out. There. All right. Be sure the equipment's cleaned up. Now, depending on where you're at, try to do all your work straight on the wood itself. So when you're cutting your gasket, just put the material on the wood and cut it up. When the wood gets damaged enough, we'll replace it. All right? Because it doesn't matter where exactly you're going to end up doing this. You'll probably be doing it on a desk or outside. It just depends on the crowd for that day. All right? But clean up everything. Get everything squared away. Again, close the calipers. All right? Be sure everything's placed back into the toolbox and the tools are put away properly. All right, we're having a problem with some students not paying attention and wanting to try to do things in a hurry. All right. Anything that you take out of the tool crib, please put back into the tool crib. All right. All this equipment is here for you. It's yours. If something breaks, something gets bent up, something gets damaged, just let us know. We'll take care of that. As long as it isn't abuse, we don't have a problem with it. You know, we're here to train you, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So ask the instructor, lab techs, for the equipment, and we'll get you set up. Thank you.